know who did not have a good weekend?
Uh-oh.
Donald Trump
I was like, this is going so many different ways.
did not have a good weekend. His parade, his military parade on his birthday fell flat. Not only did it rain most of the time, they expected 200,000 people. The attendance looked mad suspect.
It was so neat. Like,
yes, very. When they were the video where the tank is going down and you can hear the squeaking of the tank, and
someone should have just had the trumpet. Boom, 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 boom. Like that would have been icing on the cake, right?
Yeah,
there.
like nobody. Like, well, I guess they said it grew when Trump spoke, but there's video of him like sitting there. It looked like he's crying. It looked like he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
So that was and at this while at the same time, an estimated 5 to 7 million people protested all over the country against him in the No King protest. They said Boston alone had 1 million people.
That's crazy.
Right. So you were saying?
No, I think it was very interesting that the Army, a lot of the participating members of the armed forces weren't in their dress uniforms.
Okay.
They weren't marching in step. They were just kind of walking. And I was reading things from active members on TikTok and Instagram that they were like, this is a form of protest by the armed forces members who were marching because they weren't in lockstep. There's a parade formation.
Right.
They have, like, you know, every branch of the military has a specific dress uniform for parades, for things like that. You have a designation.
You know what?
And they weren't in that.
I saw this clip of when they do the I guess the drilling. In New York City, and people were saying this is what it's supposed to like.
Right,
they had the gloves on.
I mean, you know what it looks like. Yeah.
But they had their gloves on, and they were doing
the Marines have like dress blues.
Right,
the Armies. Yeah, they.
So I didn't understand when I saw that. I didn't understand why. I was like, what does this mean now that you're breaking it down?
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah, so they were saying this was like passive protest by the military. There was a guy.
They don't want to go to war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, I certainly wouldn't want to.
I don't think anybody, at this juncture wants to go to war.
There's somebody.
I'm like, I mean, the people without guns.
His name starts with an N and ends with a U. I mean, it's a war. But anyway, please continue.
No, that was it. Yeah, that was it. It was just funny.
And also, like, they fired so many people. You know, to rearrange. Do they even know where the uniforms are is the question.
Right,
Is
there any person, is logistics even around to even supply the materials?
I mean, that's true, because if you're like your leader is head chef and he's up there dropping classified information, it's signaled multiple times, like, obviously you would not be feeling confident if like this is the guy that's running the show. Miracle, they also said that Fox News added fake applause during the Trump live stream, that sound engineers pointed out in the comments that the applause was from an indoor event, not an outdoor event.
I mean, there's reverb you'll be able to detect on an indoor applause track.
Fox News, you know, they have been known to sometimes enhance the quality of their videos.
To lie for their man. They've been.
I do believe it was a Fox News affiliate that made the fry 'em up like bacon chant over a BML.
Oh, yeah.
A Black Lives Matter protest a couple of years ago. So that brand has been known to like fudge and play with like the media because they are trying to get in Trump's good favor and stay in his good graces so they can get exclusive interviews and so on and so forth. But it really just shows, like, when we talk about state-run media, like, some people just do this stuff for free, and it was pretty bad. Like, no one was happy. I've never been to a parade where you just hear cheering all the time. Like, even I believe our St. Patty's parade is one of the largest in the nation. Screams the whole 4 hours. Like, it's just noise and jubilation. But I don't know what you're supposed to do at a military party. I don't know who they had. Like,
I mean, we have to like
not
ask,
a good idea.
We have to like find some North Koreans. Like, what are we supposed to do when the dictator brings out all this stuff? Like, what are we supposed to do?
I guess
like, do you cheer? Do you stand in awe? Like, what do you do?
The new slogan for the Trump protest, since Fox News is pumping fake noise into it, would be If the crowd doesn't fit, you must forget.
It's funny because the word they use, and this is they called the crowd paltry. Paltry is a great word.
Taco.
Like a paltry crowd.
Trump always chickens out, and that's why you got a paltry crowd.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I feel like, again, this is why one has to pay event planners and not, just people who are the yes folks. It should have just been a country concert, right? You should have just
know what? That would have been You bring like Morgan Wallen or one of them big country acts, you probably would have got a lot of people.
It should have just been a free country concert on the lawn, and the little fire jets go woo woo.
Right,
and then
right. What were the same people who were in charge of the campaign?
The folks gone. That was the inauguration weekend.
Yeah.
They've gotten their bills passed. They don't care anymore. But I think it really shows you how we're kind of like very much third world.
America
right
is a third world country with a Gucci belt.
Definitely.
And we're a little broke.
Yeah.
Or a little poor. And we can't even do theatrics right. So it's like, if that's like the last thing to go.
Well, I mean, but on the other side, like you said, the No Kings protests where you had 5 to 7 million people all over the country was very theatrical. People had some incredible signs. We seen Pikachu with a sign. Like, people were dressing up.
I seen someone with the sign. It was like, I don't know how. It was like, I ended up at this protest because I got added to a Signal group chat.
That's hilarious. So again,
I see some good signs.
Very creative. A lot of people out there. So again, do we take away a sense of joy, a sense of like accomplishment that so many people came out to protest Donald Trump on his birthday, far more than were at that parade?
Now, I will say, as someone who is loosely affiliated with the protest, these older white people are not playing around.
I like those glasses.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Shout out to my Chinese vendor. I need these tariffs to go down so I can get more. But these older people are not playing around. Like, I don't think people really understand. Like, I think we moved from like a racial justice lens as black people who've been like impacted by race and violence and how we engage. We are now dealing with the older class of white people who, for all intents and purposes, did everything right. They got the good jobs. They had the family. They stayed at the factory, or they stayed at the employer for whatever. And now they're seeing their pension is gone.
Yeah,
right.
Their retirement is gone. They cannot afford the taxes, the property taxes. They're facing evictions and foreclosures. They're facing, true uncertainty at this tail end of their life that's supposed to be their quote unquote golden years. They're forced now to either delay retirement or start working or taking gigs. It was supposed to be, the joke, you were a Walmart greeter in your retirement. Now you're a Walmart greeter because you have to like pay for your medicine or pay for your mortgage. It's wild right now.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these older folks, like people have been talking about the age of people protesting, like they're coming back, as well as having to relive like their Vietnam era politics, their psyche, and I don't think we were really talking about it enough. Like they are ready to like F some things up, and I just be like, okay, like, and they have the guns, which is also weird when you think about it. True. Like, these older white boomers also have weapons, and are angry and are very disillusioned, because there's also a lot of Republicans who are coming out to these protests. There are a lot of people who are like, my grandchild got fired. My neighbor got fired. Like,
they're all living with me. Yeah.
Like, it is just weird to like watch and see and process. And I really don't think that the Republican Party foresaw that type of angst. I think they saw like the immigrants and get rid of all the black people. So you think of federal government, you think of like, lazy black people getting government jobs.
Right.
You don't think about like all of these scientists you fired.
Right. You
don't think about all of these white people you're fired. And now they are fired up and ready to go. And they have privilege that allows them not to face police brutality.
Right. It reminds me of, remember when you talked about how when Biden came in and they were going to give, I think it was $2,000, and they were like, oh, we only got like $1,200 for y'all or something like that. It's like Trump made these promises to these communities, and as each one of these promises get broken, more people are becoming upset, right? Many people who, again, and we talked about it, you talked about it, Farouk, they're not arresting the people hiring immigrant folks, they're arresting these immigrants, but many of these business owners felt like, oh, they were only going to go after the quote unquote criminals, right? And as now they're seeing like their businesses are being harmed because of this. You had people that thought that, again, and we'll get to that, like that Trump was going to end these wars and focus more on the United States. We see that not happen. And so I think, you see all these people get fired. You see all these immigrant communities that voted for him thinking that they would be protected, lose their protection. So I think they said now his approval rating is in the 30s. And so as all of these promises get broken, people are looking and saying like, oh, this isn't who we thought we were. We still ain't got no jobs. The prices are still high. All of these things that were supposed to happen, quote unquote, on day one have not taken place.
You just got to give him time, bro. You have to just give him time. It's only been, however many days.
And then you're going to have a parade in the face of all your failures. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why nobody showed up, because it's like what you said you were going to do isn't working. It was in Washington, D.C.
Can you even afford the tickets? Is the plane going to fall off the sky? Like, there are real questions that people are facing.
But you did mention guns and boomers having guns, and we've seen also now political violence happen. Well,
I thought that was something we weren't standing for anymore. I thought that like political violence had no place in America. I thought both parties were in open protest and denouncing political violence. And what's fascinating about it, and I was talking to Kathleen about it before.
Yeah.
My algorithm has not yielded any results or updates about, now maybe because my algorithm is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know he was apprehended until yesterday.
There were no the big booty models aren't doing the political
The gym baddies, the muscle mommies
are doing the political updates.
The IG battles.
That's why it's not getting your algorithm.
Probably not, man. And it is crazy because like, I don't know, man. But
he was on the run, and we're talking about in Minnesota.
But you don't think it's odd that like this hasn't been really covered?
Well, again, so
because there's been so many people reporting like this being blacked out of their feeds and their algorithms.
Again, I think it has been covered, but at the same time, what happens is it's also been a lot of disinformation.
Right.
So in Minnesota, a man named Vance Bolter, I think that's how you pronounce his name, basically dressed up like a police officer.
Had a car.
Right.
Cop car. Yeah.
Right. And a car that said police, and carried out 4 political assassinations, like targeted individuals, a state representative named Melissa Horton and her husband.
All 4 died? Or
yes.
All 4 died?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Melissa Horton and her husband, and then a Democratic state senator, John Hoffman, and his wife were shot. And so again, like,
I thought they recovered.
Okay, it said they were John is enduring many surgeries right now and is closer every hour to being out of the woods. He took 9 bullets.
Holy shit.
And his wife took 8, and they said we're both incredibly lucky to be alive. So those 2 lived.
Whoa.
Right. But what we found out was that he had a hit list of 45 elected officials. These were all Democrats. He was somebody that was a Trump supporter. He was somebody that watched InfoWars. But what began to happen is the Republicans also, and Donald Trump and his folks start this whole disinformation campaign that he was somebody that was Republican. They were saying, oh, he was appointed to a position by Tim Walz, which is not correct. He had a position already, some board position that Governor Tim Walz reappointed him to that position. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like he was somebody like that Tim Walz looked and saw and was like, oh, this is an up and comer. You know what I'm saying? This was like some bureaucratic process. And so that was the whole, so it was like, oh, he's really a Democrat. Donald Trump has not called Tim Walz, basically called him a crackpot.
Has Trump denounced this at all?
I do not know. I just know that they asked him, did he contact Tim Walz, and he said no.